All right. I think
Hi.
that worked. I hear a voice.
Hi, everyone.
I hear a voice.
Hello,
Hello,
everyone.
everyone.
Hi. Hello,
Hola.
Edna. Hola.
All right. So give me 1 second because I don't know if my camera's gonna work. Hold on a second. All right. Let's do this. I see Luis. I see me. Yay. How are you guys? Buenas
How's everyone
noches.
doing?
Buenas tardes. Boa tarde.
Buenas tardes. Nice to meet everyone.
All right. So let's turn on the cameras. Let's do this. Let's be present today. I want to
Hi,
see my
everyone.
people. I'm tired of seeing screens and text. Let's do this. All right. Hello, Oneida. Jesus,
Hi.
I prayed for you.
Hi, everyone.
Hola, Emily Mati. Mo Hassan. How you doing, buddy? All right. Lou from Italia. Escondido, pero está. Somewhere to be found. La Lía. Alondra mía. Bueno, yo te puse mía, pero Alondra mía. Nicole. Tudo bom? Sign up. Everybody here? Oneida, ¿quién más? Call the names of the people.
I'm here. I'm here. Let's see who's there.
We have people without cameras. I want to see them. Let's go.
Let's see
Come
those
on.
beautiful faces.
Let's do this. Dale. Dale, que if I give you $1 million, you need to show your $1 million face.
Here's my account. Hold on. Private
You want the
DM.
money, but you don't want the presence. Eso es fácil. Me too. I want to run a bank virtually, totally without showing up anywhere. The federal government looking for me virtually, and then my paycheck getting it at home, right? Buenísimo. Okay, so let's start this. I missed you last week. What did I miss? ¿Quién estaba? Who was here last week? Who can tell me what happened last week? All right. You want to be voluntold?
Some very special people are in the room. So, guys, we have some very special invitees here. So, people are looking.
That's right. A ver. Anybody, at least somebody from the Dominican Republic. Let's go. Puerto Rico. What happened last week? Go. You, yes, you. The one that's going to speak. Do it.
And wasn't last week, do we have the AI speaker helping us, teaching us how to leverage AI in our work?
No, that was the week before. That was the week before. It's okay, buddy. Don't worry about it. We have all these recordings going on. Jesus, cuéntamelo. Talk to me. What happened last week? I want to know. I think you're on mute. No, I can't hear you.
Jesus, you had you raised your hand, but I think you were on mute.
¿Quién más? All right.
Well, sorry
Emily.
that I got disconnected.
Who?
I can give a little recap of what we saw last week.
Who's that, Lou?
Yes.
No, Lou. No, not you. Not you.
Okay.
I'm okay. I can wait all night long, by the way. I have 4 hours. I don't have to sleep. I want to hear the people. Come on. Who was here last week? Raise your hand if you were here last week.
Jesus, try to disconnect your headphones.
Dale. Dale,
There
I
you
can hear
go.
you.
There you go. Te escuchamos.
No, last week we were talking about the importance of showing up and making clear what your character is, and yeah, just being yourself and trying to achieve the goals you have.
All right, so being present. What else? ¿Quién más? Nicole, were you here last week?
Yeah.
Talk to me. What did you
How-
learn?
Oh, so much on basically how to make yourself stand out in the market and, take risk presenting yourself. I really
How do you
liked it.
do that? How do you take risks?
Being different, being original, not being afraid to, like, I guess, take a rejection, and connections.
All right. How do you do that? How do you stand out?
Connecting with the right person, but organically, like a little bit about you said, like AI can't replace the communication skills. So, like being at the right place at the right time, whether it's like networking over a coffee and then talking about your experience.
How are you in the right place in the right time? Where do you go?
Well, first going like on LinkedIn, doing your research, kind of seeing who you can connect with.
Uh-huh. Yes.
I think from there, yeah. And in your
What about
circle, kind of going to your circle and seeing like who knows who.
What about showing up in the place where people that want to do what you that do what you want to do in the future? How about that?
That's
That
also
a
a good one.
strategy?
Amazing strategy, yeah.
Cesar, are you in New York?
Yes, sir. I'm in New York right now. Yes.
All right, Papi. Tell you know where bankers hang out in New York?
Well, in the city, when they pick up the salads at Cava or Sweet Greens, that's definitely one place to find them. But I mean, I'm in Midtown right now, so anywhere around Midtown, 59th Street, that's where all the major banks are located, or their biggest locations.
So write it down. The Bear and the Bull at the Intercontinental Hotel, Madison.
Correct.
All right, Luis. I know I'm cheating by calling on you, but where do you hang out to go to places where people are going to give you business? Where? On LinkedIn?
Well,
Online?
you've known me a long time, Hernan, and you know that I'm all about networking. Wherever I can be at, I will be. And the young lady that just spoke, you're right, Hernan. There's nothing that can overtake personal communication. That's how I met Hernan. I met Hernan years ago, and we reconnected, and the best way to do it is networking and networking and networking and networking. And you don't have to talk to a lot of people, but if you connect with 2 or 3, those are the ones that can change your life.
That's right, baby. Like you.
But a lot of networking.
Like you changed my life. Cesar, what were you going to tell me?
Yeah, I just wanted to also mention, like, so if you go to like a gym or any, like, in New York City, we have a Lifetime gym, and a lot of people, like, after their shift around 5 p.m., 6 p.m., they like to get out there. So when you're getting a workout in, if you see someone in your, that seems to be doing what you want to do, just pick up a conversation with them.
That's right. All right. Who else? Who wants to tell me how you stand out? Emily del Rosario, how do you stand out? What makes you so special, so amazing?
I think it's mostly about being authentically yourself, and also you can also meet like people in the least unexpected places. Like you don't necessarily need to go to a business event. Maybe you're in a park and the person sitting next to you start a conversation with, and you never know if they're actually those that can help you long run.
All right, I like it. Mati, how do you stand out? what do you do?
You
This
try
guy
to be
looking
unique.
sharp and
You
nice
try to be
glasses,
unique
by
while
the way.
also being yourself. Also, what's up, Hernan? How's
What's up, buddy?
Scotland?
So just by being yourself.
Yeah, I'm embracing what you are, being unique.
All right. So, all right. Do you remember what your letters were?
Yeah.
All right. So talk to me about what came out of your test.
What do you mean? What came out of it? What results I got, or what I thought
Yeah,
from
yeah.
it?
What results you got?
So my results were ENTPA,
Uh-huh.
the debater, and it told me I was a very logical person, that I could come up with very quick results. I could see issues very clearly, but I could also lose track of very simple things because they become mundane to me, and I could fall out of habit. And honestly, it's kind of true. It's one of my main issues. When things become habit for me and very easy, I tend to slack off sometimes. So it's pretty accurate, I'd say.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Yeah. So it said you're a debater. It means that you like to chat.
Yeah,
You like to
I like to
debate.
make
You
my
like
I
to
like to make my statements known, my what I think known.
All right, but who do you want to debate with? You want to debate with your peers all the time, or you also want to with people that are older than you, or you're afraid of having a discussion with somebody that's older than you?
No, I'm not at all. I have no issue with that.
No issue whatsoever.
No. With
Well, this
authority,
is good.
it said I would have issues with authority also, and maybe that comes from me challenging it too much, but that would
I
come
know.
from me saying what I think too often, I feel like.
I know you want to Belém. You know they make you debate a lot.
Yeah.
They piss you off sometimes. I know
Yeah,
how
they
it
make
is.
us sit there and talk all fancy. I don't know.
It all helps. It all helps.
Yeah.
Pimpe, you're in Lagos, no? All the way from Nigeria just to see you guys, to see a bunch of cameras. Can you guys believe that? Bimpe comes all the way from Nigeria to hang out with you guys, and you have your camera. Come on, your camera
Good
off.
evening, sir.
But it's okay. Bimpe, talk to me about your results. What did you get?
So I got the entertainer. I wasn't really sure why I got that, but then I had to do it like twice because I wasn't really sure if it was accurate. But I think it was just basically talking about like how basically being the center of attention, something like that, something related to that. Like being the life of the party and all. But I feel like
Huh?
that's just because I like being around people. So
I like being around you. I can, but we make an effort. We discuss. We talk. We debate. Right?
yeah.
We make the best effort possible. Cool. By the way, I'm challenging people on purpose. I want to see what's out there. Emily, welcome, Emily. Bienvenida. Does everybody know Emily?
Hi.
Hi,
Emily is
everybody.
So I got
Hi,
otra
Emily.
dominicana en Miami, otra dominicana en Miami, con mucho cariño.
Yes.
I'm happy to have you. Tell me, how do you stand out?
Besides the points that have been told before, I feel that a good way to stand out is to be yourself, not only to be yourself, but also to take what others, probably what somebody else with more experience has, take it in as well and use it for your advantage. I feel that could be a good way.
So when you say take it to your
Is my
advantage, what
internet
is that?
slow?
No, it's okay.
Am
I
I
can hear you.
freezing? Okay.
Nanuka, ¿cómo tú estás? Estás robando cámara, te he visto por todos lados. Digo, no te escucho,
I
pero
tried.
I
Can
see
you not
you.
hear
I
me?
see you. I see. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay.
So tell me how you stand now. I know that you are doing amazing in that aspect. I know for a fact.
I actually go by my charisma, but I tend to stand out with my curly hair. I go to business events with an afro, so that for sure makes a statement. And having colorful wardrobe, like prints, very fancy, but yeah, definitely something to stand out.
When you're beautiful, you gotta show off, you know.
You know how it is, Hernan.
I know how that is.
Yeah.
I am big and beautiful. By the way, it just shows in your personality, your demeanor, right? You can be, doesn't matter who you are. If you have a beautiful demeanor, right? If you like talking to people, if you care about people, if your heart is in it, your conversations are totally different, totally different. So, by the way, we're gonna talk a little bit more about this, but I want to hear, I want to hear from espérate, que I saw here, Alondra mía, how do you stand out? Dímelo.
¿Me escucho bien? Can
Sí,
everybody hear me? Okay.
se ve
I
bien
think
tu
you
cámara,
stand
se ve
out.
bien, hablas bien, perfect.
Okay. I think you stand out when you show up every day, even when you don't want to, even when you're sick, even when like there could be endless factors, but people remember that. And they also remember kindness. I feel like that sounds kind of basic, but it really does go a long way. Like I think I've gotten opportunities by like doing really small details. Like one time one of my professors had like 2 coffees in his hand and I opened the door. And that was like really simple. And I think I got an opportunity that he presented me later on. And like I think that was one of the factors, like really small things that you could do for people and they remember that. And like if you hear like a teacher like they really need participation and they keep asking like the question and nobody wants to answer, like you could kind of do the teacher a favor and like participate, even if you're feeling shy. Sometimes I feel shy, and like do that and they really remember. I think that's how you stand out.
Sometimes, you know, you're Manuel. Sometimes you go to class, or we go to class to learn a certain subject, which we already read the book. Probably we want them to add a little flavor, right? And maybe because you're paying for it, you expect a lot more from these debates that happen in school. But also, just think about the person that is standing there. The person that is standing there. You know, if you know their story, their history, why they became teachers over being, I don't know, an astronaut or a marketing person. I always wonder. I always try to look at the hearts of people and why they do things. Right? Have you ever wondered why we do what we do? Is it just pure coincidence, or does it have to be with things that are happening in your life, or experiences that happen to your family? Um, you know, so I'm gonna share a little bit of story. I don't know if I shared before, but I was raised by a single mother. Um, Although I love my dad and I used to hang out with him later on in life, my mother was the one that raised me. So that uh, gave me a good understanding of the perspective of a single mother that was an executive in the 80s in Puerto Rico, doing things that were just breaking. I tell people that she would be breaking glass ceilings when they were made of cement. And I looked at the struggle, and I also embraced the love, because I knew that she did everything she could to raise me. So I put my effort, right? I put my extra effort. That's how I ended up in Miami, by the way. because I put my extra effort. My mom told me, no, I cannot afford that school. And I used to come to Miami to hang out with my uncle. And I used to go to bike around in Coral Gables, and I liked it. She said, no, you're crazy, right? But I said, I'm going to do it, mommy. I'm going to do it. And I did it. Why? Because I remembered that she sacrificed for me. And also, I'm putting my effort into the equation. So people give you jobs, people give you opportunities, right? And sometimes we forget, sometimes we're just thinking of us, right? Sometimes we have to think about the other people that care about you so much, right? That they sacrifice so much so that you can be in the places where you're at. Just think about that. Something else I'm going to share with you, and then I'll pass it on because I want to give enough time to Oneida. That exercise that you guys did is very critical. So the letters that you got, and I know, for example, Leah changed from one thing to another, and I remember telling her in my chat. Remember what I said? I said, because you're changing. No, first you got some INF something, and now you got a campaigner, right, Leah? What do you think that is happening?
I would say definitely. I was originally an INFJ, which means that as an architect, I used to see things more with feeling than with logic. And then I think because of university and then also the conference event that we had with Apprentice Worldwide in person, that experience also changed me, seeing how in reality you see in person and you think, oh, these are just people with jobs, but then they have a personality, they have a life, they have meaning, and getting to know that like we're just humans made me humanize work more and made me realize that like, oh, what you want to achieve is not necessarily like impossible. You just have to, I wouldn't say manifest because I don't really like that word, but more like speak it into existence. And like if you genuinely believe you're going to make it and you put in the work for it, I genuinely believe that you're going to achieve it.
That's Walt Disney's quote. If you can dream it, you can do it. By the way, one of my favorite quotes. And the answer is yes. So I was telling the other day, and I shared with you guys, a guy from a single mother I would say, my mother worked 35 years and didn't make more than $32,000. And she raised Juan Carlos, my brother, and I. But she was the CEO of the Better Business Bureau, right? Which meant that every day of her life, she was dedicated to serving other people. It's crazy and amazing at the same time that you can spend 35 years, raising two kids, probably wanting she could have made more money, but she decided to serve humanity, right? So can you do both? Can you make a ton of money and can you save humanity? Right? So this is a debate that I had with Oneida the other day, and she said, you can do both. You can do both. You just have to have the heart in the right place. And Oneida and I have become very good friends. We're almost identical. You can see the similarities, of course, if you look at our hearts, right? And that's what matters here. And I hope that you guys, we have 3 more weeks together. I hope that you guys can get to know each other and remember this time, because this time is very valuable. The people that you're meeting are taking off their time to hang out with you, where they could be doing something else, right? They could be, doing banking stuff or starting a company, but they find being here with you more valuable than taking that hour and doing something else, because you matter to the people that are here, right? What do you think? Mo agrees. I know that, and I know Luis agrees. Lou, right? If we didn't care, we wouldn't be here. Trust me. But this is why it's important that we get from you, right? The people that are doing things for you also expect some love. So, Oneida, before I transfer it, I have homework for all of you guys. For the next meeting, I'm going to do two things. First, we're going to have some fun during the week with your letters. I got everybody except Sophia, I think, and Emily, which I think you need to do the test, 16personalities.com if you want to do it. And then you shoot me your letters, and we're going to have some fun with that. And we did that in the Next Level retreat in the Dominican Republic in May, and we had so much fun getting to know each other and knowing our personalities and how we work together, and what a difference when you know each other much better. So I'll tell you a funny thing. When I put in my letter, so I'm a campaigner. I'm a campaigner. When I put in the letters and I said, who is my biggest compliment? Compliment is the person that is most likely to have, so not the totally opposite, but that could completely work with you, where you have some skills and the other person has some skills. I was happy to find out that it was my wife. She took the test and she got IN something. I'll share it with you later so you can see what it is. Because we've been successfully married for 30 years, and it has not been because we're the same. It's because we help each other so much in the things that matter to each other, but we complement each other so well. So when you do any business venture, any activity, any personality, it's good to know how other people are, so you can, work together. And they can be very similar, and you can work on very similar things with them, or they can be the opposite. Like me, I'm not that organized, so I need somebody that is very organized. Otherwise it'd be chaos. And I know my flaws. Do you know your flaws? That's why it's sometimes more important to know the things that you don't have, so you can compensate some other way. All right. So the second thing is, I'm going to put in the app. So everybody has downloaded the app already, right? If you haven't, download it, because I'm going to put there the instructions on how to build a vision board. Have you ever built a vision board before? Raise your hand if you have. So by next Monday, I want everybody to do a vision board and share it with the team, okay? And then we will spend some time next week. It'll probably be a longer meeting next week, but we will spend some time understanding what excited you to do this vision board, because I really want to know. I want to know your heart and the desire of your heart, because like Lou said before, right? To stand out, you need to be present and present yourself and be there, be out there, okay? All right, so now speaking of being out there, I'm gonna leave you with the amazing Oneida. Oneida, take it away.
Hi, everyone. How are you? I am very, very happy and honored to be here. Thank you, Hernan, for creating these spaces for these wonderful young people and young students and future entrepreneurs and future change makers. My name is Oneida Franco, and I am the founder of Franco Blueprint, which is a company that specializes in something that some people would call boring, which is accounting. But I make it very creative and fun so people can fall in love with it, because it is the core of any business and anything that you want to do. Especially when it comes to structuring a business or changing the world. You have to know your numbers, and I make it my business to help people fall in love with that aspect of the business. And so I spent the past decade building systems, guiding creative entrepreneurs, and helping people, especially women, structure their business with soul and sustainability. But today, it isn't about metrics or models or accounting. It's about people, okay? It's about the energetic threads that connect us and the reputation that precedes us and the way that relationship carry us forward, even when we don't realize it. And before we dive in, I want you to just take a moment to close your eyes. If it feels good, you don't have to. You can just turn off your camera and think of someone who once opened a door for you. It could be metaphorically, it could be actually physically that somebody opened the door for you. And now with grand gestures, maybe, with a kind word, a supportive email, or a quiet presence. Because sometimes even somebody in a room that is sitting next to you that regulates your system and that makes you feel comfortable, right? And that it reminded you of who you are, even without you knowing who you truly were in that moment. And so I want to give people like 15 seconds to just close your eyes and like bring that person to your mind. And I want you to feel how it feels when you think about that person. That person left an imprint in you. And today we're going to talk about how to become that person for someone else and for yourself, and how to invite more of those people into your life. And so you can, quietly send a gratitude, put it in the chat if you want to share, if you want to just put it out into the universe or give thanks to that person that you thought about. If you guys want to say the name too, you're welcome to say the name if you feel inclined to. I want to say a name. I'm going to say Hernan. Hernan, but I also want to say, because I believe that she is here with us, Cecilia. Cecilia Mota is that person, and Hernan Mayol. So I want to call those two names out. So if you guys feel comfortable saying a name, even if we don't know them. Anybody? Somebody other than me or
I would say my dad.
okay. Beautiful. You know what? I'm going to say my dad too. Yeah. Nice. All right. Well, I'm going to go into the energetic value of connections. And I want to begin here because I think it's something that we don't say enough. Even short-lived transient relationships have value. In my own journey, I'm sorry if you hear something, there's something going on out there, but I hope you can't hear it. But in my own journey, there have been assistants, collaborators, interns, big and small people like that, somewhere with me for a season and some were with me for years. But the energy that they brought, it lingers till today. It becomes part of the DNA of whatever I'm building. And there's a woman that I worked with very briefly. And I literally was trying to remember her name, but maybe I don't know, it's maybe like a couple of years ago. But the systems that she set up and how she created them, I still use it. And her grace in conflict resolution, I model it to this day. And so people matter, even if they don't stay, a long time. We have to honor that, and by staying human in our leadership and remembering that every contribution leaves a mark. Every little contribution leaves a mark, and it becomes part of your tapestry, of your entire anything that you're building, whether it's personal or in business, and in school when you're learning anything. And so here I want to take a minute to reflect and for you guys to write down one person who brought something beautiful to your life or work, even if they're no longer in it. Even if you had a bad break up with that person or it didn't end well, there's something that happened in that course of that relationship or knowing that person that brought something good. And so one of the exercises that I would love for you guys to do, you can do it, to yourselves, is write the name of that person and that thing that you can remember. And it's important, this exercise, to remember that good thing because it brings about that energy, right? And so you guys can do that to yourselves. And then the next thing that I want to talk about is your reputation. And even when you're not in the room, it's speaking, right? It's speaking of you. So let's talk about something that is subtle, but very, very powerful. And it's not just your LinkedIn profile, or your social media, because that it's sort of like speaks about the things that you've accomplished, if you went to school, your accolades and things like that. But what really echoes is how you make people feel, okay? How when you walk in a room, your presence, and then how you actually make them feel when you leave in your absence. And so reputation is how you close an email, how you handle delays, right? Because delays happen. Sometimes you don't have control over that. Me personally, I'm the kind of person that, because you never know what can happen out there. If I have, let's say, a meeting at 5, I'm there at 4:45. And sometimes I'm there at 4:30, even though I have to be there at 5 o'clock, right? And so how you listen when someone's talking, and that is shaped when no one is watching, right? And here's the deep part. How you speak to others is often a mirror of how you speak to yourself. So that's really important to be very mindful, especially in times of high intensity where you're interacting with someone. It's very, very important to pause, to actually not say anything. If you are going to say something that is going to have a negative effect in people, because that effect is actually affecting you more than it's affecting the other person at the end of the day. And so it's really important to learn how to pause. And sometimes that can be very uncomfortable, right? Because sometimes you feel the need to always say something, but not saying anything is more powerful than actually saying things. So it's really important to practice that, to pause before you're speaking. And if you're impatient with others, ask where you're impatient, where you are impatient with yourself, right? If you speak with warmth, ask how that mirrors the healing you've done inside, okay? And so here, I want to do kind of like a small exercise, and every time I'm talking about a different subject matter. So here, I would love for people to write down or share 3 words you want people to associate you and your energy and your essence and at work. So I would love here to open up the chat, whoever wants to share. 3 words you want people to associate with you and your energy and your essence and your work. So it's 3 words. One that describes your energy, one that describes your essence, and one that describes your work. I can start to give an example. So for example, my energy, I believe is very calming. I feel that people around me feel very calm because I'm a person that I exude that, and I'm sometimes actually people get annoyed at me with my calmness. They're like, Oneida, how can you be so calm when something, when things are falling apart? And then my essence, I would say that people feel happy and joyful around me. They've expressed that, and I think my work ethic. Um, I'm very organized and I am very systematic. So who wants to go next? 3 words to describe your energy, your essence, and your work.
I can go
His-
first.
Okay.
Yeah. So the 3 words that I want people to look at me, for my energy, I want them to feel like I'm confident when I talk to them. My essence, I want them to feel relaxed, like they don't have to worry about anything, like they can just focus on whatever we're talking about. And when it comes to work, I would like to be efficient, or as most efficient as I can.
Beautiful. I love that. And I love the second one that you said, because I think it's important that people feel like they can express and be authentic in front of you, because
Yeah, like
Mhm.
exactly, like being able to like exchange it, like a flow on a conversation, not just like throw words at them and they feel like, oh my God, this is overwhelming, or the other way around. Like, hey, I'm trying to make a point here, please hear me out. And then they will like just making, a bunch of arguments to me. Like I want them to like feel relaxed when they talk to me.
Exactly. Yeah, I love that. I resonate with that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carla. Anybody else wants to share? Jesus Dalgia, I see you first. Or Cesar Mendez, I think, raised the hand.
Uh, yes, the 3 words that I went with was encouraging, fair, and efficient, similarly to the last lady that spoke. Encourage, I'm sorry about the noise, but
You're
encouraging
good.
because just like playing in sports or like just being in team environments growing up all my life, like it's important that everyone is motivated to accomplish the goal. So definitely encouraging. You don't want nobody to feel like they're less than. You want the best work out of your team. Fair because similarly to what I just stated, like you want everybody on an equal playing field, and that'll just get their confidence up. And then lastly, efficient. Of course, everyone wants to be efficient, especially with AI developing. Um, Efficiency is only going to go up, so that's going to help us, accomplish more work or create even better work. So, thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing, Cesar. Jesus Aleja.
Well, I would say first of all, I think that I try to be a compassionate person, uh, and empathic with how the other people can feel and how the different situations in life can, sometimes help us be at our best form or our lowest. But at the end of the day, it's something that will help us grow. And I try to be a mediator, and that goes also with the second part of my essence, a supportive person. I try to be present there, in the good times and the bad times, even though sometimes there's people in life like the exercise that we did a couple minutes before, that people that leave, you know, like it's I once heard that life is like a train. So you go onto the final destination, people come up in the train, they get on, and at the next station they get out. And there's people that goes stays in your life throughout a couple stations, and then when you least expect it, they get out. But there's also people that stays throughout the whole course until that last stop. And I try to be that person, and which also goes with the final characteristic, that I would say I'm a reliable person, or I try to be a reliable person, someone who people can count on, and someone who is there to serve and to love others. I think that that's something that helps create a better world and transforms the lives of not only myself but the people around me. So in that way, I can also accomplish my dream, which is changing the world. So
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing, Jesus.
thank you.
The other Jesus, Jesus Aleja. Let's see if your audio is working because it wasn't working before.
Can you hear me?
Hola. Yes.
Okay. Let me check for my three words again. I put that people perceive me as a disciplined person, very dedicated, with a lot of dedication to my work. And like everyone, I want to be efficient, but with a little bit of timing because there are lots of people that they can do their work really quick, but they stay silent. But I want to do as much as possible to be able to learn and get the experience.
Thank you. Nicole?
Yeah, sure, I'll share. Thank you, Oneida. So I put as the first one empathy, so being empathetic. I think that's super important. I mean, in my professional career and the trajectory that you go to in your career, we're all human at the end of the day, whether, in nonprofit, in corporate America, wherever you are. So I think it's really important to be empathetic with your team members. That's also how you build like really lasting connections, and, personal relationships or in the workforce. And then I put also team player. I think that goes hand in hand with also being a good listener on your team. So everybody can have a different opinion. Let's say you're creating something that's a really important project for a deadline, but often rather than not, if we listen, we take a step back, maybe you can synergize the idea and create something better. And then the third thing I put was creative, so having creativity. I think that's super important, whether you're in marketing, whether even if you're in accounting, right? Like how you mentioned, like for your personal business, you're putting that extra token of making it fun and exciting for people. So I think creativity is it's a number one asset that, again, AI can give you the ideas, but at the end of the day, you have to deliver it. So it's how you go about it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much,
Of
everyone, for
course.
sharing. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Yeah. And this is so important because it's really important to cultivate these qualities and essence in all of us because this is what's long lasting. Energy is never lost, it's only transformed. And so when you come into a room, you have to be conscious, you have to be present, and knowing how your energy is going to transform the room, right? And when you leave, how is that energy going to linger and stay? Because it does. So thank you so much, everyone, for sharing. Beautiful. Then I want to talk about building relationships that open doors. So strategic relationships aren't about just like networking, socializing, showing up and going to all the networking events. Yes, you can. You can go to all of them, but it's more about resonance, about that energetic feeling that you feel when you walk into a room where you go and you feel like you're in the right room. Sometimes you have to do that a lot, like go network into a lot of places, but it's about that if you go networking and you're in a room and you don't feel comfortable, you don't have to stay in that room. It's about being in the rooms that you feel a certain pull, right? That aligns with the energy that you're giving out, with what you're putting into the world, with what you're doing, that aligns with you, with your work and with you personally. I use a simple framework with my relationships, and think of your network in three rings. Your inner circle, okay? People who know your values, who check on your soul, right? On who you are, on your essence, right? And not just your work. Those are your inner circle. The people who know your values, who check in on you personally, and not just your work. Then there's the middle circle, right? The mid circle. And those are collaborators and peers, folks who grow alongside you, right? These are the people that are walking the same path and they grow, and then, they probably become your inner circle. And then your outer circle, which is aspirational contacts, right? People that you admire and you want to be in conversation with, people that you model, that you see, that you follow, and that you read your books. So those are the outer circles. Okay, so your inner circle, and I'm going to share something with you, and I'll see how, with Hernan how I can share that with you guys. But is your inner circle, right? Your mid circle and your outer circle. So those are the very important things for me, the framework that I use. And you can build your own. You don't have to follow anybody's framework. You could build your own and what works for you, right? And how that interconnects into what you're doing. Now ask yourself, where are the gaps, right? Where do you need more balance? And here's a simple outreach formula I use. Lead with a genuine compliment, right? Because authenticity, I think, is so important. Sometimes, even that's happened to me. I'm like, I sit there and I let like myself get into my head. But I think authenticity is very, very, very important. Sometimes being very simple. You don't have to say anything complicated in any big words, right? So, leading with a genuine compliment. Number two is reference something you admire or you learned from them. And then number three is invite a connection with no ask, right? You can just invite them with no ask. And I think your profile and your who you are is going to speak for yourself. But I think it's really important to at least find something that you can connect with that person, right? So you can give a genuine compliment, because sometimes, you don't want to be you don't want to clutter your relationships. You want them to be intentional. It's really important to be intentional about building relationships. And then I want to say the task that I want to leave for you here for this is to take 2 minutes today, or let's say 10 minutes. Let's say 10 minutes to draft a reconnection message to someone that you admire or you lost touch with. Okay, so I would love for you guys to do that today. Before you go to bed, take 10 minutes, draft a reconnection message to someone that you admire or you lost connection with, and see where that leads. All right. And then lastly, I want to talk about staying visible, valuable, and human. Visibility is not about being loud. It's about being consistent. And sometimes that's hard, right? Because we're like get wrapped up in school, in house, personal problems, but it's so important that we not only show up for ourselves, even when we don't want to, but showing up also for others, for those relationships that you're building, right? Because the way, and you can model it the way that you show up for yourself is show up for others, the same way that you show up for yourself. And the most powerful people in my life, right, are the ones who check in, who share freely, and who amplify others. Without a doubt, the most powerful people in my life are the ones who check in, who share freely, and who amplify others. For me, those are like my three important things that I look for in my relationships and the people that I are part of my circle and network. And I want to share 3 habits that keep you visible and valuable. Number 1 is weekly check-ins, personal or professional. Celebrate others. Drop a comment, endorse, shout out to someone, share memes. Someone shared with me something that's called pebbling. Have you guys heard of that? I share sometimes these things with my daughter, but pebbling is, who knows that? Who knows what that is? I thought somebody unmuted themselves, but pebbling is something that it's something that you like if you share memes or I don't know, articles or anything to someone over social media. And that shows cares because this is how we communicate nowadays, right? So those little things are really important. And then Third, share your thoughts on platform newsletters or even emails and speak from your heart. Okay, I think it's important that I know that sometimes we get really busy, but it's really important to at least, make it and you know what, and it doesn't have to be, you could do like a monthly post, like make it a habit to take a moment and to reflect about your week. I don't know, your every 2 weeks, and reflect on what happened in your life and how you related to others, and share that. And whatever medium you want to use. You can use a Princess Worldwide app. That's a new thing right now. And I think it's amazing. So that's a new network that you can share and you can speak from the heart. And I think it's important to do that. And the key at the end of the day is to be human, right? And don't worry about perfection and just focus on connection, and you're going to feel that. You're going to feel that because it's going to be something that is felt really deep within you. And so one action that you'll commit this week is to be more visible and human in your circle. So what is that one action? I would love somebody to share that you'll commit to do this week to be more visible and more human in your circle. My screen is really small here and I can see the names. I don't know if maybe Jesus Dalhi, you're like the first one. If you want to share something, I can see Nicole Jara or Cesar Mendez.
I would say that apart from writing that gratitude letter to those people that maybe I've lost touch with, or I haven't communicated with them in a while, I would also say just sending encouragement messages, to those friends or people around me that I'm grateful for, or that have done something in which I've remembered, and maybe, it's something that they may not think that it's special or significant, but that really changed like my day or my life. So yeah, I would say, like, as you said, keeping that communication and just being grateful for the impact that those people around me have done and created.
Beautiful. Thank you, Jesus. Carla?
Hello again. I'm actually going through that right now. As Hernan knows, I've been a little secluded from social anything for a while, so I'm like trying to get back to society again and like friends and stuff. And this actually reminded me, the other day I sent a message to one of my friends because I wanted to reconnect. She's right now like out of the country, but I was like, hey, let's catch up. Whenever you come back, I really enjoy the time we spent together back in like before I graduated. So let's go somewhere. I don't know, get some coffee, just talk about life. And because she helped me a lot back then. So I feel like I really need to get back on that connection and things like that. So it's just like being grateful for everything they did and trying to, just make a little small conversation. It doesn't really have to
Exactly.
be that hard, like that, like that huge other thing.
It doesn't have to be complicated. It's just committing like to something each week, and it's about intentionality, like being intentional about that. Thank you, Carla. Anybody else wants to share like one thing that they're going to commit to do this week to stay visible and human in your circle?
I can share. I think yeah, like maybe just going like even like through my phone contacts, there's maybe like either some personal friends or maybe even friends that have professional careers now that, maybe we were studying together and I never thought they would, end up there and then they switch. So just catching up with people organically. So I mean, rather often than not, you don't even realize, every year somebody can change, we're always changing. So maybe what that person was doing 2 years back is completely different now. And you can even do like, that person's not here, like in your city, maybe doing like an online, coffee catch up or something, and go from there.
Beautiful. Thank you, Nicole.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, so lastly, I just want everybody to, because it's important to do that, especially in this day and age, right, with AI, social media, and even here, like I wish I was in a room with you guys because you really feel the energy, like when you're in person, right? But I'm transmitting my energy to everyone here. But I think it is important to commit something to this week, and I really want you guys to do that. And I would love to see a reflection on that posted in the app, in the Apprentice app, of what you did. You don't have to share like all the details, but just something that you did that made you feel more visible and more human within your circle. And then lastly, we're coming to an end. I don't know, Hernán, if we can do a little Q&A if anybody wants to ask any questions about me, my career, or any other questions or curiosity that you had about what we spoke about today. Mati Perinot.
Yeah, I have a question. So you said you have an accounting business, correct?
Yes.
So how would you say you've made your accounting business more personable to your clients? So to be more, because it's like not to be like disrespectful, but it is just accounting. Like how do you make that to a level where it's personable to your clients?
Yeah, so I worked in accounting for 25 plus years, and I didn't start my business until 2017. And one of the reasons why I started the business is because I worked across many industries, but my last corporate job was at an art foundation. And what I came across was that artists and tech entrepreneurs, like entrepreneurs that are starting a business, which I consider artists because they're doing something new and creating something new. And what I found is that they were very, very disconnected from accounting because, like you said, it's something that's so boring. It's just like numbers, right? But I started giving workshops. I started giving workshops and delivering the message in a different way. Saying like how I'm speaking today and not just necessarily talking about the actual accounting part. Like I would leave that for the end. I would engage them in questions about their business and then made them reflect on how whatever it is that they're doing can be translated into scaling their business, right? And so I would get very creative because I'm a creative myself. So I would engage them first and everything else that wasn't accounting. But then I'm literally drawing a connection to drive them to that end goal, which is making them see and revealing to them how important it is to have the foundation in order for them to realize that dream that they're trying to achieve.
So you're basically saying you just had to really get to know them and you really just put in the time to get to know them, basically.
Yes. Yeah, because when I started the business, I started it very intentionally, like in a niche market, entrepreneurs and artists. Very,
Okay.
very, yeah. And I was
Yeah.
already like in that circle. I kind of already knew my target audience, my ICP or my ideal client. I already knew exactly how to speak to them because they're very visual, they're very engaging. They don't, if you start talking about numbers, they disconnect completely. They don't want to hear about numbers.
Yeah.
And I'm actually building something, very for them. It's a back office that synthesizes business information for them. Yeah, because another thing, just to kind of close this subject, but accounting in the world of accounting is made for professionals, for accounting, even a program like QuickBooks, although they make it very user-friendly, but at the end of the day, if you don't know accounting, you're not going to be able to know how to use it. You have to know an accounting precepts, right? And so unless you actually study it, it's really hard. It gets very overwhelming.
100% understand. Thank you for answering.
Absolutely. Thank you for the question. Jesus.
I got a question. So, what's the best way to start a conversation with someone when I'm unsure how to begin it, especially on cell phone or through messages or WhatsApp, which there isn't, I don't know, like maybe on social media where they post a story or uh, a post and I can, just start the conversation with that.
Yeah, that's a great question. I was actually having a conversation earlier today because we were talking about a couple of clients that that I work with. And those clients, I didn't get them because I actually reached out to them with a offer or like send them, my website or anything like that. It was actually genuinely, I admired them and I either read their books, saw their TED Talk, and I sent a genuine message about like, oh my God, I'm so proud of you. But I already had an understanding of who that person is. And so I think I want to repeat that it's really important that you're intentional. And so when you're reaching to someone to say hello, you should know something about that person. It shouldn't be shallow. It should like you should really genuinely have already some sort of information about that person and not kind of, like, oh, random. You should know why you're reaching out to that person and be very intentional. I don't know if that answers your question, Jesus. To give you an example, like if you're reaching to someone about their art, say like, hey, X artist, like I loved your painting X, Y, and Z. Like what were you thinking when you painted that? What materials you use? So it's about being very intentional when you're reaching to that person.
And I got another question. And would you recommend that or say that like that communication through messages is like the best way? Because I find it difficult to start like a conversation and maintain that conversation through messages. Like I
Yeah,
personally
no,
like more.
yeah. I mean, it's hard. First of all, like if you're reaching out to, let's say, a person that has 300 followers, they're probably not going to read your message because they have so many people messaging them. So it's understanding like what channel you're going to send a message to them, right? It could be a comment, but if you are asking the question, like once you engage them and you already started a conversation, how do you move that out of the, let's say, the text? Is that where you're asking, Jesus?
More like I like having for example, like a cell phone number and just having his or her contact, a professional, and just not knowing how to start that conversation, and people which are professional again and have like their work and they're just scheduled up and trying to then have that conversation or that space which you know yes it's the messages but also translating it and moving it to like a real time and place
Like
setting.
scheduling, let's say, like a call to talk about a specific subject?
Yeah,
Okay.
just
Yeah. I think once you engage somebody and somebody gives you your attention, I think it's important for you to have a clear intention of what you want from that person, right? And so let's say that, I don't know what your background is or what you're studying. What are you studying? Or
accounting.
accounting. There you go. Okay, well, I think that is really important for you to know what you want from that person's time, right? And understanding the value of that. And so you can say like, hey, Hernan, ¿verdad? Say, hey, Hernan, do you have some time or some space that we can schedule a call because I have some questions about accounting, and so it's like knowing what you want from that time that you're asking from that person. And then actually writing I don't know, 3 things that you want to get out of that conversation. Does that answer your question, Jesus?
Yes, perfect.
Okay,
Thank you.
good, good. Nicole, Hara?
Yeah, I actually have a question. Thank you for sharing that you were in the beginning of the career, with the Arts Foundation and then now accounting. I imagine like throughout your career, you possibly had the chance to either interview candidates, maybe to become your next colleague or maybe to work for you. What are things that stood out to you in that interview process? Because I know especially now it's in the job market, it's sometimes hard to land an interview. What for you stood out? Was it, their actual direct experience for the job? Was it their personality? Just, something that can help maybe other
Yeah.
job seekers or people who are early in their career.
Yeah, absolutely. I think still it's really important to have a good resume because that's the first thing that's going to get you an interview. But I think that once you do have that interview, I think that it's really important that you can connect and align with that person's company culture or the way that they speak, the way that they do business. Because at the end of the day, yeah, you can have all the accolades, all the degrees, but if you don't fit into an environment, it's gonna be really hard for you to maintain that connection. And it's okay. Like if you don't resonate with somebody or you don't align in the way that they work, it's okay too. But I think it's important to be able to sink in with that person. There's sometimes that you're having conversations with us, with a job or I'm going to give you an example. I went on an interview they did property management and development. And the person that was interviewing me, they were like, "Oh my God, you're perfect for the job. You have like, you can do this and you can do that." And I told them, I said, "Okay, great. I would love to, help you with your project." And I told them, I only have 5 hours a week to dedicate to this, to this position. And one of the things that they asked me is like, after all of that, they asked me like this, "Do you want to be successful?" And I'm like, yes, I want to be. And I say, yes, I want to be successful. But I said, more importantly, I am successful because, I told them I am successful because I know exactly, my value, and I have a good family and I have good friends. And I said, a job doesn't define my success. And he was, he like, I took him aback because everything that I shared up until that point, it's like he wasn't listening to everything that I was saying. And I knew right there in that moment that I didn't want that job. So it's about being intentional and knowing, like, also what you want. It's not also, what sometimes we're like, oh my God, we need a job. But I'm telling you, all of you guys that are here, I can't count, I don't know, but listen to me, it's really important that if you don't feel comfortable in an interview and you are just taking a job because they offered it to you because it's going to give you a salary, don't do it for that reason. Okay? Do it because you actually want to be there, because you love that, that opportunity, and it's going to add value to you. Right? It's really important that you do that, because the minute that you say no to something that doesn't align with you, 10 doors are going to open with things that align for you. But the minute that you say yes to things that do not align for you, all the doors are going to close. All those things that were meant for you can't come in because you said yes to something that's not for you.
Thank you so much for sharing that. It's really helpful.
Absolutely. Luis Izquierdo. Oh, I don't know, Luis. I think you're still muted. I don't know if anybody wants to go next. Lou or Hernan, is there something that we can do to unmute from this side, like the admin?
Hi, I'm here, but no, I don't
Se
have
puede.
the admin access. I think it's Hernan. Let me
Ah,
look.
bueno. Okay, no problem. I think Hernan had to drop out.
Yes. By the way, in the first place, I want to thank Oneida for this amazing class, this amazing session. Every time listening to you is an honor and a pleasure. You are quite vibrant and liked and like and not only, I mean, you with your presence, but your message. Thank you so much. I cherish something that you shared, that you said during our conference in Santo Domingo, and it was about leading, like be a leader with your soul's frequency and with your authentic energy. And that's something really to keep very present in sharing, in building businesses, in building community, in building purpose. So thank you so much, Anita.
Absolutely. Thank you, Lou.
Is there anything else that anyone wants to share? A question of this fourth session that has been so exciting?
Thank you so much. It's an honor. It was an honor really to be here and share my thoughts and share my energy with you guys.
Definitely, and it's quite an honor for us. Now, before you guys go, I'm gonna I want us the CAPS, the people from the Career Acceleration Program, please stay for a bit so we can share a little bit about that. And I think that the interns will have sessions directly with their mentors. So thank you so much for showing up today for yourselves.
Thank you, Lou. So I'm not sure. I don't want to leave beforehand, but it's okay if I drop off.
Yes, darling. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Have a great one. I hope to see you sharing in the apprentice some of the exercises.
No te vayas, no te vayas, espérate.
Ah, okay,
Espérate.
Hernan. Yay, Hernan is back. Yay. Hernan, I think Hernan is frozen, right?
Seems like he is having some connection issues. So let's give it a minute. I think he might be trying to connect. So in the meantime, I'm happy that all of you stayed. And if Hernan can connect back, well, he will be with us in a minute. So how are my CAP people? I want to hear from you. Actually sent you a message just a little while we were in the meeting, because I would like to set up some short meetings with each of you so we can follow up on your processes, and of course support them in the best way possible, because what we want is for everybody to succeed here. All right. So, well, after today's wonderful lesson, I would like to know about, well, how have you been doing with your mentors and your projects so far? Who wants to start? I want to hear you. All right, Nanushka, wonderful. Thank you. Please tell us.
Actually, but I got a hold of my mentor, Monica, about 3 days ago, and we managed to talk via phone call. And she's revising the agenda to have an overall idea on how we can proceed together, because at least on my behalf, I studied management and marketing, and my interests are more in tech and sustainability, and at least her background is more of in finance. So she's trying to gather her resources and knowledge to plan out literally help me out with her knowledge as well. That's a good pair, even though we're not in the same fields, because at least when it comes to sustainability, I tend to be in spaces where not many people have backgrounds in business administration. So that's my forte when I move around, talking about sustainability. And so we're gonna work on that together.
Beautiful, beautiful. That's very important. That's a wonderful part of the process when you get to realize what is actually what you want, what is actually your purpose, and acknowledge and embrace the fact that you can pivot. You can, simply find other perspectives, and it's okay to either change paths or find new inspirating ones. So I'm glad to hear that. Thank you so much for sharing.
Yes, thank you, and thanks Hernan too for the connection.
Beautiful. All right, let me see. I'm gonna start calling names then. Let's hear from Jacopo, which is very silent today. Jacopo, are you there? Might not. So who wants to go next then? Nicole, do you want to go?
Sure, yeah. So for me, yeah, so for me personally, I've been trying to figure out my branding. And when I say branding, it's figuring out, what I want for my career and how I can personalize my LinkedIn, or how I want it to look. My mentor in this case is Hernan. So he's been great. I've been in contact with him, and right now it's kind of narrowing it down, who's the right person based on my skill set, of reaching out and stuff like that. So I'm doing my research to kind of have um kind of I guess what happened on the call today, the intention of figuring out, what's the right person to contact that is actually aligning with what I want. So that's kind of the step I am right now, in that research mode. Oh, I think you're on mute, Lou.
Yes.
Yep.
Sorry, yes, I was muted. So yes, sometimes finding the right mentor will take time, but it's worth it when that person is going to be the right one for what you want in both sides, in both ways. So, okay, if anything, you can reach out to me, and of course, Hernan will be more than happy to
Thank
you. Thank you. Let me see. Let's hear from Carla. Carla, are you there?
Yeah, but I don't really have much to share. I'm still waiting for Hernan to give me my mentor.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I understand. Okay.
I mean,
I'm
if you have
gonna.
any questions for me, I can answer. Okay, here is the man of the hour.
Yay.
Oh yeah.
Hi.
So I was on the iPad, and I was my Wi-Fi. I was taking the personal hotspot from my phone, and I forgot to charge my phone. So that's why I missed you guys. I couldn't say bye to Oneida, but I wanted to say a few things to you guys. First of all, the internships. If you have not connected, so some of you don't have mentors yet, which is fine. You still have 3 weeks, by the way, and then you'll have another 2 to 3 weeks to hang out and do stuff before your classes start in college. So you should be fine. So don't worry about that much, okay? But for you, those of you that have mentors, make sure that you connect with them this week. If you have not connected with them this week, we're gonna make a extra effort for you guys to meet. Even if I have to bring you guys together, pull you by the hair, except Nanuska, everybody else's hair I can pull. But one thing that I one of the things that you have to learn, one of the things that you have to learn is to be persistent. Sometimes you don't want to be annoying, right? But you have to be, because both of you sign up to this for a purpose. The mentors sign up for this too, right? So if they do not have the time to hang out with you, we take them out and we put somebody else. And if you don't have the time to hang out with them, then you tell me and we'll put somebody else with that mentor. You know, you understand what I'm saying? This is valuable time that we have together, okay? Take full advantage of these moments, right? The second thing is, before you meet with your mentor, stalk them. Yes, you heard me right. Stalk them. Look at everything that they do, everything that they eat, what they say, what they do, read articles about them, be obsessive about them. Because once you have a conversation with them, you'll have a lot of context, right? And you can bring these things up in the conversation. Hey, Hernan, I saw that you were in Scotland. How are those, those biscuits? Did you eat haggis? You know, if you follow me on social media, you see some things. I do it on purpose, all right? Because I want you, whoever's in my social media, I want them to know that I am there for them. Okay. If not, I wouldn't post anything on social media, right? I send pictures so that you can see that I'm having fun, but at the same time that I care about you. Because if I don't put anything, it's just whatever. Why do I have social media for? Just to read articles? For that, I go to X. No, it's just these are the point of building relationships. It's a mutual thing. The third thing is, you guys have to have a habit, and this is something that happens with young people. You have to have a habit of having professional relationships, professional friendships eventually. No? But for now, professional relationships. What does that mean? So this you have to get used to, okay? It's not something that's very easy, but it's something that you need to have with senior executives. Is you are fully focused on whatever the interaction is. So I can go one by one, but let me pick on Nicole. Nicole, how many times have we texted this week?
At least more than 4 or 5. You know, I've lost like.
What do we do? Do we chat about the moon and the stars and the planet? No.
No.
He asked you a question.
Like, what's the game plan? Yeah, like, what's the next step? What can I do? And sometimes I read text and I'm like, okay, like, how about this? How about that? And we kind of brainstorm ahí un poquito.
That's right.
Mhm.
And Carla, I do the same thing with you. Nanuska, we're trying, right? Lou, this is what we do. We help each other excel, right? We help each other excel. And that's what professional relationships are. We're trying to help each other succeed. It's a mutual thing. No, it's not only me giving or me giving and you taking, but you giving, and it's a symbiote. For now, of course, you guys are younger. You guys are looking to succeed in business and in life. So guess what? I'm a few years older, so I can give you some advice. But I also learned from you guys. I learned about marketing, social media. I learned about life. I learned about AI. I learned about, so many things. And this is important because this is a segment that I chose to help out with. So any interaction that I have with you teaches me something as well. So it's not only on one side, it's both sides. So, but professional relationships, and where do you find these professional relationships? Well, this is the issue that most of us has as young people. It's not like I wake up in the morning and say, you know what, today I'm going to hang out with a 40-year-old person. This is my goal in life. That doesn't happen. I'm off with the kids, and sometimes when they're babies, they're babies, and I have my thing going on, and then you have your thing going on. So we find places and spaces. So guess what? Apprentice Worldwide was created so that you have a space to come together with people that are at any age that are helping each other succeed. That's why we do these things. Because I used to go to capítulos universitarios or Alpha Kappa Psi stuff. And Alpha Kappa Psi, I hang out with people from Alpha Kappa Psi that are my friends and talk about, peer stuff. Capítulo universitario, we're hanging out. Yeah. But I'm looking for spaces and places where I am gaining some knowledge. Right. So these are the spaces and places. That's what I talked to Cesar before. Where are the bankers? Whatever you want to be, you hang out in those places. Whatever you want to be, you go into the places where those people are. So ask yourself, you want to be an accountant, Jesus? You got to hang out with accountants. You got to be like mad, obsessive about hanging out with accountants. Go to the Colegio de Contables. Go, geek up, right? Everything that accountants do, you hang out. Why? Because if you love it, right, then you're gonna get extra knowledge. But if you hang out with them and you don't love it, you quickly pivot and you change into something that you like. Okay? If you coño, those accountants are all boring. They're not, by the way. They're smart as hell. But sometimes we have that misconception, right? Because we don't hang out with accountants. Like Mati was inferring, how do you add value in accounting? Well, Mati is studying law. He's a debater. He might not understand what accountants do and the importance of accountants, right? Until they start charging you 40% taxes for doing something wrong. And then I want to hang out with accountants. Those are my best friends, So that's another thing. So if you haven't connected with your mentor, this is the week. Do not lose it yet. It's been 3 weeks, okay? If you don't have a mentor, don't worry about it. I'm your mentor for now until I find somebody, okay? So Emily, I'm your mentor. Nicole is a CAP. So Nicole, by the way, do you guys know what a CAP is? You heard me say CAP members. So CAP it's the Career Acceleration Program. It's people that are working already or that have experience in the work life and that are trying to accelerate their life and their career. They don't need an internship. They have plenty of those. Okay, they're just trying to either pivot to another industry or they're trying to raise their level in their careers wherever they are at. And we have all of those here. Okay, if you're in college, then you're an intern. You're doing an internship, and then you're hanging out with your mentor and hopefully learning some things. Any questions? Take full advantage the fact that I'm here now live to answer any questions. Reina, you do know that working with Lou is kind of like having a mentor, no? You do know that, no?
Yes, of course. Because, you also are my mentor, so
That's
I'm
right.
happy to see that, and I'm really learning a lot. Especially I've been talking with others, apprentices and mentors, and as well as other professionals. So
Yeah.
I'm very
Well,
happy. Uh-huh.
and every
Yes.
day you keep improving. Every day you keep improving, right?
Yes, of
Yeah.
course.
The way you communicate, the way you talk, the way you dress, the way you express yourself, the way all of that is transformational. In 6 months, it's like Leah said. Leah, when she started, she was an I, and now she's an E because she's evolving, and this is great. It's exactly what we want. If you're evolving, you're learning, you're growing, you're in the right place.
And
Sí,
especially
señor.
always, yeah, see,
Dale, perdón.
especially always maintain the feedback. The feedback is one of the most important things you have to do to be in contact with your mentor or any friend you have in the network, so you can know if you're improving or not.
That's right. Everybody here is trying to do that. By the way, it's
Yes.
funny. So Nanuska I know you have your hand up. Dale, mija.
Okay, it's regarding the CAP program because I've already graduated as well, so I'm not sure if I could like be within that program as well.
Yeah, of course. So the question is, are you doing, if you're doing an internship, meaning you're working with a mentor in a project that is related to what you're doing, if you're working with them, usually that is an intern, right?
Okay.
Or if you're just sitting down and talking about the CAP are talking about strategies about how to get their career and the business to the next level. So if you, it doesn't matter. I mean, obviously, Carla started as an intern, came this year as a CAP, no? So
Okay.
you could, next year you want to come as a CAP, that's fine. You know, we don't have an issue. By the way, we have a third group which doesn't meet here, which is the people that have startups. That's a different group, like Paola, which brought a bunch of you guys here. She's in the startup group. So we have around 16 people that are in that group. We have 3 that are getting funded already, 3 people that are starting businesses. You know, that's a different group. Can you be in all of them? The answer is if you have time. But not everybody has time to do all of it. You know, you have to decide. You have to decide. But yeah, you want to be in both, you're in both. I think your mentor is your mentor Monica?
Yes. And I already have my company as well, basically startup. So I'm not sure if dive into that as well, but it's still in the process.
Bueno, like I tell Nicole all the time, start with one thing, go to the next after.
Yeah. I'm taking it easy and at least setting the base with Monica is the priority now.
The problem with me, you, Nicole, Lou, a bunch of us that are multi-talented, right? That want to do everything is that is the issue. When we want to do everything, we get a little bit overwhelmed, and then stress starts hitting our lives. So what I learned after so many years is that I do one thing at a time. You know, I don't worry about the next thing until I finish one thing. And the worry is what kills you. I'm worrying about starting my business, and I'm trying to, you know, take care of a meeting that I have next week. Well, let me take care of the meeting, and then I'll worry about the next thing. Then you have systems eventually. By the way, there's the books that I've been sending you. I sent you one. I think GTD is one that I send you guys. That's what I learned is too many things in your mind make you go crazy in terms of stress. No? So why stress when you just worry about one thing at a time? It's like people that are in college. You know? They want the perfect job now. But what happened when you having an entire life, right? You're being pressured by other people, but really it's your life. You know, you're at another pace. It's okay. It's okay. You'll find, once you find what you love, you're gonna be so happy. You're gonna wake up, you know, and that's what we're trying to figure out between, I would say, between 20 and 30, right? That decade is pivotal because obviously you can change. You can change. You know, you started one thing, you can change. It's okay. That's why you take your master sometimes, because you want to do something else. You didn't like what you want. It's okay. Right? You don't want to be in your 40s and in your 50s in an environment that you don't like, in a career that you don't like, right? That's why you're doing the steps. By the way, I didn't think I wanted to be in banking either, because I'm a marketing guy, I'm a sales guy, but I've been in banking 30 years and I struggled, but I found my niche, right? When I was in 27, I found global trade finance, and I love traveling, one, of course. And number two, I love dealing with people from other cultures, 2 good things. And number 3, I love learning about the inner workings of companies. So global trade finance happens to be something that has all those three. And I'm not an actuarian, I'm not good at investments, none of that. But I'm good at, relationship building. So I started in sales, right? And then I went to product. Why? Because I became a technical expert in my field. Once I fell in love with it, I knew that I was going to study that every day of my life, because that's what I do, you know. And I am the only one in the Western Hemisphere, talking about more than 1 billion people. I am the only one in the Global Trade Finance Board from the Western Hemisphere. So what does that mean? That I am obsessed about global trade finance. I want to learn every single day, everything that comes out, right? And that's why I'm in the board. Because when you become an expert, right? Now I say it with pride. I am one of the top experts in the world, and I can prove it. Can you say that? Not yet, but you will be once you figure out what you want. That's why I always ask you, what are you good at? I challenge you. And I'm gonna keep challenging you, because I want you to tell me what you want exactly, so that I can help you exactly. But I also want you to be realistic, right? So there's some people that, I want to be a rocket scientist in Cuba. I don't. Guess what? In Cuba, there's not that many. Well, there are, but they don't let them be rocket scientists. But you want to be a rocket scientist after studying in a top science university, like let's say UF, and end up in Lockheed Martin in Orlando. That makes sense, no? Then that's what you do. Then you're fully focused on that. Speaking of fully focused, Professor Bedoya, our first professor, come back. Sí, señor.
Hey, Hernan, good afternoon. Good afternoon to everyone. And I wanted to add something about what you said not too long ago. And that you say something, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, and that you say something about.
Oh, se cayó.
Sorry, something important about if you want to be XYZ, you should hang out in XYZ environment. But there's something that always we forgot because we're young. Well, I'm not, but the vast majority of these are really young. We have to be very careful about our reputation as well. We don't want to be that potential candidate for this type of industry that always goes and get drunk or always cause troubles. Reputation is extremely important. And I have seen cases where there's someone trying to fit into certain type of group, but that person became to be from an intelligent, capable job professional to, this is the guy that is drunk every single party. So I didn't want to mention that. I really want to mention that because I seen it, and we are building the social skills. We are building the capability to communicate out there, and sometimes we feel like, hey, one is too many cocktails. I don't know. That's going to be totally up to you. So, but it's important to keep that in mind as well. I don't know if you want to add something there, Manuel.
Oh no, yeah. That's. Oh yeah, you hit me in the head, because in the face, both places, because I had a boss. I had a boss that had the nice, he came to me and said something that I'll never forget. So I was 32 years old. So I'm from Puerto Rico, okay? And Puerto Ricans, what we do is sing and dance. We love to sing and dance, okay? That's part of our culture. That's what we do. So I used to. So I'm a singer. I sing. That's one of the things that I do. And I used to give concerts throughout Latin America. So I used to go to conferences, and they knew that I had gone to Don Francisco and participated in Don Francisco. And one of the guys said to the band, "No, this guy went to Don Francisco." And in one of the conferences, I sang, right? So for 6 years, between 20, let's say 26 till I was like 33, something like that, I used to sing in these conferences. But for me, it was a serious thing, right? Because it wasn't a joke. But my bosses, were white Americans, and one of my bosses, which I love, one of my bosses, he said to me, Hernan, you know what? I wouldn't sing in these places. And that shocked me. And I go, why? Why would that happen? Because you are an up and coming leader in our business. And I would hate for you to miss an opportunity for people not understanding what you're doing. And I was like, what do you mean? I cannot be myself. I would struggle with that. He said, no, it had nothing to do with that. You can be yourself. Just don't do it in front of bankers that are going to be your bosses. Oh, okay. So that makes sense. It means that before I become the leader I want to be, I have to practice. And therefore, I want to take the steps that they're taking, well, with a little twist, right? With a little compassion and love. I do things a little different. But I understood what he meant. He meant you want to be taken seriously. You know, there's a time and a place for everything. So I agree. There's a time and a place for everything. Maybe getting drunk at a party with your boss is not the best thing, even if he's so close to you, because it can give a wrong impression, and you don't want to give a wrong impression. Tienes razón, André. I agree. By the way, another thing that I will share with you, Andres, and you brought something, and it's always. I've always had I've always been a great mentor of women and men, both, by the way. And the reason why I started Apprentice Worldwide was, coincidentally, I was in charge of the analyst program at Bank of America for the Latin America team. And one of the analysts that I used to coach and mentor from Alpha Kappa Psi, Liz Rodriguez, Lizzie Carla, I don't know if you know her, but she was an analyst in my team. Right? Same advice I gave her when she was at a party dancing with one of the executives. And this is the type of relationship, like I said to you guys, that you want to build with people. Professional relationships, professional friendships. And what does professional mean? Is setting boundaries. Setting boundaries. Right? There's some things that you don't do. If you want to have a good relationship with somebody, no matter how old they are, you treat them with respect and you set boundaries. I love going to karaoke and party, but is that the place that I want to be with people that I'm trying to build a professional relationship for? Not yet. The answer is not yet. Maybe after we understand each other enough, that's not gonna be a problem. You see, these are the gray areas that we have to learn that they don't teach us in college, unfortunately. Right? It's not like I'm gonna speak to my dad. If let's say I'm a woman, I'm not gonna talk to my dad about sexual harassment in the office. No, that's why we have the women leaders group. By the way, Nanuska, the head of our women leaders group is Monica. So I don't know if you know, but Apprentice Worldwide has over 100 women leaders that are part of this group. Those are the issues that the women discuss. I don't discuss them. Monica does. But just so you know, there's a place for that as well.
So here, Nan, I wanted to add something there of what you said. And we are Hispanics, most of us. Our culture is very, we laugh, we talk, we touch, we hug. So it's important to read also the room as well, especially in this culture, because We don't want to be the ones that are identified as either the drunken person in every party, or the person that dances with every single woman out there, or the guy that is chasing every single girl out there, or the girl that doesn't want to talk to anyone because she's so antipathic as well. So we gotta find a proper balance of communication, because we want to be very professional, and that we want to keep that image, because you never know. And I'll go to both sides of the equation. I'm going to share some examples that I see in my professional career. One example is this beautiful young woman that after many years, she has been married 4 times, and that she has 3 kids, and that she's not working anymore, right? And then on the other side, you have this other beautiful young professional that ended up being extremely antipathic in every single opportunity, and no one wants to talk to her about absolutely any opportunities for business. So we want to find the proper balance. There's a guy that I know in my business that he was kind of banned for every single happy hour out there, because he was every single time going to talk to girls. Hey, you know what you do? That's not the place to pick up. The place to pick up, you develop, you not nurture that situation, you find that opportunity. But in a professional environment, you want to be known as a, hey, this young professional is very interesting because he has a proper demeanor, he's dressing properly, he's talking properly, he's very respectful. And when has to smile, and we have to put some boundaries, they will put the boundaries. So that's something that I'm encouraged to think about it. And if you're not sure how to use the resources that we have in Apprentice, and if you have a situation, just raise your hand, ask a question. This is a safe place for all of us to communicate and then say, hey, I had this situation at work, what should I do? Hernan?
Great advice, man. Great advice. So just to end here, and I know we've been here 2 years, but 2 things. Homework. If you have a mentor already, right? Talk to your mentor this week. Make sure that you stalk them. Stalk them for a purpose, not to stalk them to bug them, but on purpose, okay, to find out, so you can have an understanding and bring some of these things up. Maybe you want context, you know. The second thing is, if you have that little cheat sheet that I sent to you via email when I introduce some of you to the mentors, take a look at it. You know, that gives you some material. You can even stop the conversation or start the conversation and say, hey, Hernan gave me this little cheat sheet of how to deal with that. And that actually, Carla would know, because we in Alpha Kappa Psi, we interview brothers, right, or alumni. This is kind of the same, where we have a little cheat sheet and we talk to them about stuff, but more focus on the industry and the opportunities, you know, and the career opportunities and then when you have a good relationship with a mentor, then you know, you ask them, what do you think I should be doing that's different? And then you hold on to the handrail, because if that person tells you, he's gonna tell you from the heart, and sometimes you're gonna be like, holy crap, yep, I gotta change that and this and that, you know. Like, for example, you know, I know some people here, I won't name names, that might have an unprofessional picture in LinkedIn. So do I go ahead and tell them now, or do I wait a little bit until I build up a good opportunity to be frank and honest, to say that your image is everything, and that having that type of picture is not professional, and people are gonna judge you for a stupid picture, which is crazy. People do. And if you don't want the person that you're asking for a job, or that might have the job that you want, to judge you for something that's not you, just because you're lazy and not found a good picture. You see what I'm saying? So we have to build relationships based on trust, and that's why this program, you know, people want something more now. These things take time, you know. So take full advantage of the process. I'm gonna send you the Canva link so you can do your vision board. Okay, go big. You know? Go big. Picture yourself doing what you're gonna put in the picture. Okay. So if you want to talk about career, you put that. And if you struggle with that, put several pictures and then delete two of them. But in your life, in your career, in your personal life, that's what vision boards are. And then, so you talk to people about taking steps towards these things if you don't know how to do it. But Jesus, you brought this up before. How do you do it? One step at a time, right? Dream big, but then also know what the steps are there to take in between. And if you cannot take the steps in between because you're in Puerto Rico or you should be in California, and you're not, okay, so you have to make adjustments. You have to find the industries. If your thing is you want to stay in Puerto Rico, perfect. Find the industries or create something that nobody has, right? Give it a twist. Like you saw what Oneida did. Oneida focuses her accounting work on people that have a passion for service. So all the companies that she serves are people that she takes care of, are people that have a passion for service. I know, Carla, we spoke about that. Maybe you and Oneida should talk about that as well, because that's phenomenal. But she did a lot of the regular accounting work, and then she pivoted, and she's been more successful because of that. Questions, cheap chats. Me voy. Debí tirar más foto. How's the party in Puerto Rico? No, the concerts are good, ¿no?
No, it's good. But
¿Qué dijo? ¿Qué dijo? Se cortó. No te oigo. Sale, entra, sale, entra. Jesús, are you in Puerto Rico?
Sí, yo estoy.
Yo estoy
Yo estoy
quitado.
en Puerto Rico, pero no he tenido la oportunidad de ir a verlo. Mi hermano fue y me contó que estaba súper brutal y que estaba súper lleno, pero yo en lo personal no he tenido la oportunidad de ir.
Me encanta, me encanta.
Y
¿Qué
también
te parece?
estamos enfocados más en el trabajo y en las diferentes actividades que estamos participando. So.
Me alegro que sigan echando para adelante allá. Eso le ha traído tanta oportunidad a Puerto Rico. That's so amazing. Sorry for Jacopo, it's in Italy and Zainab is in Africa, so I forget. I have to switch. But it's amazing what one person is. Regardless of the politics that people get involved in, because sometimes people get use those. I hate politics, but this is one of the things that I hate the most, because art, it doesn't matter, right? Art is art, but art is also a business, and sometimes people do controversial things to get attention, like Madonna used to do, or what's her name, or Lady Gaga, and it's okay, art is art. But the important thing is that brings a business, and a lot of businesses that are small businesses in Puerto Rico are booming as a result of this action, phenomenal, creative thing that Bob Bunny has done. It's amazing, and his team, because that's really crazy. We're very proud of that, by the way. So I'm Puerto Rican, so I can say that we're all very proud of that, because our culture, like I mentioned before, it's all about expression, whether it's singing or dressing up or big hair or whatever. It's all about expression and creativity, right, Reina? I know sometimes you want to get more creative. You don't like it in HR. And it's because that's how we are. We, you know, in our culture, it's just
Right, I would agree.
that's what we do. That's what we do. When you don't have that many opportunities because you live in an island, right? It's not like you can walk to Santo Domingo walking. No, you got to take a plane or a boat. But when you don't have that many opportunities, you got to get creative. You got to get creative, and that's why we are so creative. It's just I love that creativity, and that's what's going to bring that that island. What's going to bring it up, because there's so much talent and creativity. So I'm excited about Puerto Rico. Excited. Like I'm excited about the DR, Colombia. So many good things that are happening. Speaking of Colombia, Lou, what do I owe you? So you're meeting with the CAPS to make sure that we talk about our strategies, our career strategies, right? And then
Exactly.
see, and then the interns to check up on them to make sure that they contacted their mentor. Oh, I sent an email. He didn't respond to me. I'm like, one email? I would have sent 20 emails. Hey, you haven't answered. You haven't answered. Hernan, he didn't call me. What happened? What happened? And then you do know that these are all my friends. That's another thing. So when you're speaking to a mentor, if you have nothing to speak about, just speak about me. Hey, how did you meet Hernan? Don't ask too much, because I might get in trouble. Dale, Andre.
Hernan, you just mentioned something that just give me some smiles, because I got on my job. We have a lot of talent, and we have a lot of young professionals that are working with us. And it's not enough to send an email. I'm not saying that that's the case for now. It's not enough to send an email. Pick up the phone and call. If you are in the same building, go ahead and make yourself noticeable. Make yourself that people see you, that you are a go-getter person. Because we came from a culture where, sadly, oh yeah, I sent a message and they responded. I don't want to say aggressive, but let's be very proactive in that the job is not done until it's done, but you have the power to make it quicker rather than just later. If you send an email and you don't get an answer, follow up, pick up the phone, make the phone call. If you have a chance to go to see that person, go there to say, hey, hi, be stalker. Well, stalker in the proper ways. Hi, I'm here. Do you see that email? One way or the other, they're going to give you the answer that you're looking for. But if you are just basically waiting for time is going to pass by, and then maybe when you get the answer that you're looking for, it's not going to be valid anymore, or it's not needed any longer.
Yeah, that's good advice, Andres. And yeah, initiative. So that's the number one. If you ask me, what is the number one thing that I hire people for at work, or I promote people at work, is people that have initiative. If you don't have initiative, and what is initiative? Is doing things even if it's I tell people it's progress over perfection. Progress over perfection. Don't ask me what you're gonna do. Tell me what you're gonna do, and ask me if you think that what you're doing is right or wrong. You see the difference there? Just tell me what you're gonna do. That's initiative. And then I say, okay, go ahead. Because you thought about things and you're doing the right thing. Reina asked me the other day, what do you think about what I sent to you? I love it. That's initiative. But it also, if you're waiting for me to tell you, okay, you're gonna do it. Tell me what you want me to do. No. Tell me what you're gonna do. Right? And then we figure it out. If I don't think you're going in the right direction, I think I can tell you, oh yeah, te vas a meter en lío, pero one thing at a time, you do that. So by the way, Reina, the list, I told you I was going to tell you about the what you put. So Reina shared some ideas on networking beyond what we do here in our summer programs, which are great. And by the way, we don't do these things often. We should do more of these. So all these are great ideas. Start with one and let's do it. Also, remember, we don't want to compete. This program ends in, it's supposed to end in August 1st. I'm going to extend it probably 2 weeks because people start going to school in August. I don't want it to conflict with people's school program classes. That's why I do it in the summer. But we don't do anything like this between August and October. We should get creative. I like it. Let's do it. And your mentor is phenomenal, so she's gonna help you out. ¿Qué más?
Awesome.
Jacopo,
Would be awesome.
by the way, Jacopo is at the same time that I am. Actually, you should be an hour after, no? So I'm at 12:40 a.m. Jacopo, he probably fell asleep there.
Yeah,
You know
he's been up for a while, so I think he fell asleep.
he fell asleep. And I forgot to introduce him to you saw another guy, Manuel Carpoco, something like that. He's from Italy as well. So I was gonna introduce them so they can do some hangout, the Italians hang out. ¿Qué más? Nicole, ¿qué te debo? You owe me, no? She left. You
Oh,
owe
I'm
me
here.
something, or
Sorry, I had to go to the bathroom.
you owe me a name or two, no?
I know, yeah, I do.
Okay.
I'm having the problem where like I'm looking and there's so many options and I think it's like the problem of not being able to like focus on one. So, but I'm working
Analysis,
on it. I have a list.
analysis paralysis. Yes. Flip a coin. Start with the one that wins. Pero yeah, you're doing good. Carla, ¿qué te debo? You asked me for a mentor. I have a few ideas. Oneida might be one.
Okay.
Because I remember that you said that you're also doing accounting for non-for-profits, so it would be probably good. Luke can arrange that, by the way. She knows both of you.
Okay.
¿Y qué más? Sign up. Sign up. Are you awake? Oh, that's the recording. I think there's a recording as well. So sign up is also in Africa. I think she's in Lagos as well. She paired up with our speaker for next week, Javi Riera, who's, by the way, gonna blow your mind. He was the CEO of Dolphin Entertainment. He's had numerous businesses. He's a great friend of mine. Big heart in service. One of my best friends. I love him to death. You guys gonna meet, a beast next week. So I hope that you guys can make it. And he's gonna talk about how to take projects from ideas to full implementation. So if your life is, if you have any ideas about a project, he's gonna tell you what steps to take to make that happen, right? And then the week after, I'm gonna speak to you, and I'm going to talk to you about, I'm gonna put some fire in your butts to stand and do something amazing now, not in 10 years, not in 2 years, not in 2 months, now. So that's gonna be hopefully a powerful talk to push you to do whatever it is that you want to do. Do it now, okay? Not later. Okay? So that's I'm excited about that. But I'm getting your vision board. I'm getting your ideas, right? All these things are have a purpose here. It's for you to challenge you to think about yourself, your strengths, your weaknesses, no? So we can talk about how you're gonna take and blow it out of the park, no? In whatever it is that you're doing. And you're doing it. You're here. you know. So not that very many people come to these things. Only 30 people out of, by the way, 200 that applied. I selected only 40. So not bad. Not bad. And still the 40 don't show up, they don't put their cameras, they're afraid. Come on, you're meant to be here, right? And it's a true honor to hang out with you, and also to hang out with my fellow mentors and professors, because they're my friends, you know. I get to hang out with them. You know, I can be a fool with Andres because he doesn't need to hire me. I already have my job, so I can go on karaoke and get drunk with Andres. It's a different relationship, no? But you know, or with other mentors. But not if I was starting my career, Andres. It's true though. It's true. But we also know that there's a time and a place for everything. So if Andres talks to me about business, I switch my hat and I become very, very attentive because I know it's important to him. So anything that's important to him as my friend is important to me, right? This is the value of friendships, is when you care about somebody, you drop everything, and then well, not everything, but most of the things, except my wife. My wife, I have to drop everything, right, honey? Yeah, she says yes. So I might have to drop because she might drop me. ¿Qué más? A great pleasure meeting you. Jesus, I hadn't talked to you much, but I'm glad that you're here. Anushka, keep kicking butt. You're doing amazing. Te veo por todos lados, nena, te veo por todos lados. Te veo ahí, te veo allá, te veo en la película, te veo ahí en la cámara, te veo en todos lados. Así que sigue echando para adelante. Dale. Lu, última palabra.
Bueno, no, pues gracias a todos, gracias por estar en nuestra cuarta sesión. Recuerden que estamos súper disponibles para lo que necesiten. Revisen todos, por favor, sus WhatsApp, porque les envío un mensaje para que podamos tener un cortito tiempo de follow-up y sigamos profundizando en esos propósitos. Y de paso les cuento y les quiero compartir esta semana que tuvimos una conversación muy linda con Carla y estuvimos hablando del propósito. Yo le referí un libro sobre Ikigai, que es un arte japonés que justamente nos ayuda a veces cuando de pronto nos sentimos perdidos o estamos buscando, digamos, un empujoncito. Entonces nos ayuda a encontrar esos propósitos, que los voy a compartir también para que lo revisen. Y bueno, nos veremos la semana que viene. Recuerden todos descargar la aplicación para que estén súper conectados con todo el contenido que Hernán siempre nos está compartiendo. Y bueno, no sé si
ahora me hiciste acordar de algo, Lu. Me hiciste acordar de algo. ¿Tú has hablado con Andrés alguna vez? Fuera de este espacio.
No.
Hablen de café cuando puedan.
Oh, sí, bueno, me encanta.
Andrés es el CEO de una empresa cafetera.
Wow. Sí. Well, you know that in Colombia we're kind of interested in coffee.
Yep. Yes. Colombians and coffee, por eso que se llama coffee y no empieza con otras dos letras. Colombian coffee tiene que tener, ¿sabes?
That's right. Te escribiré. I'm going to write to you, Andrés.
Dale, perfecto.
Dale. Bueno, Dios los cuide.
Feliz arte para todos.
Bendiciones.
Gracias. Igual. Take care, everyone.
Thank you.
Have a good
job.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.